Great job, HBO. You screwed the pooch. You've taken what was supposed to be one of the biggest TV franchises of all time, something that would rival Game of Thrones at its peak, and you flushed it down Moaning Myrtle's toilet. You've completely ruined it. You've cast the Cruciatus curse on it. You've destroyed any chance of this show succeeding. I mean, Harry Potter, one of the most popular franchises ever, literally the 8th highest selling franchise in the world. And the fact that you managed to ruin such a major IP in such a stupid decision is beyond boggling, especially now that you've revamped your Universal Park for Harry Potter. But this show is going to live and die by its casting. You see, the writing for Harry Potter is already there. You've got the books. You'd really have to struggle to ruin the writing for that show. Though knowing HBO, they'd find a way. You really just have to get the sets, but the sets are maintained from the Harry Potter movies because Warner Bros. Was smart and they didn't ruin the sets. So they're still going to reuse most of the old sets. No need to build new ones. And because this is Harry Potter, you've literally got all the money in the world. You can throw as much money at this project as you want. There's no harm in wasting any of it or saving any of it. There's no constraints. You literally have the world in your hand. The world is your oyster. You have an entire pensieve of decisions you can go through and make at any given moment. You have it all. You've got all the Deathly Hallows. Whatever the fuck kind of allegory you want to use here, you've got it. The only thing that you had to do was cast correctly. You had to cast people based on their skill and skill alone. And it looks like they violated that. As Harry Potter has finally gotten an extremely inaccurate casting by hiring the actor Paapa Essiedu to play Severus Snape. Now, we've had 3 castings confirmed, or mostly confirmed. We have McGonagall, we've had Dumbledore, and we've had Snape. Now, Dumbledore is being played by an American actor, and while the actor is a great actor, I don't remember his name, the fact that he's an American is a major issue because most people, especially British people and most Americans, don't want any Americans in this show. But if you're going to hire an American, you should have gotten Adam Driver to play Severus. And the woman who's playing McGonagall is apparently very accurate, though I've never heard of her. But this casting of Severus Snape might be the worst casting choice they could have possibly made. Before I get any further, like, subscribe, and let's get into this. Coming from that Park Place, Harry Potter HBO series officially race-swapped Snape, Paapa Essiedu finalizing deal to become iconic J.K. Rowling character. Written by M. Montanaro. HBO's upcoming Harry Potter series has made a controversial casting decision, with Deadline confirming that Paapa Essiedu has been selected to portray Severus Snape. This move fundamentally alters one of J.K. Rowling's most explicitly described characters, disregarding the author's detailed portrayal in favor of Warner Bros. Discovery's ongoing push for so-called inclusivity. Because while the culture is heavily shifting in America, unfortunately it's not getting over there to our big brothers across the sea. Now, Britain was smart, they take after us. They do everything we do because we're significantly superior and we beat them at a war that they had no chance in losing. I guess when you have really bad dentistry, you tend to lose wars. But the real problem with this, first of all, is that Severus Snape is one of the most well-defined characters in Harry Potter. This is the character who is most consistently described in his appearance. Now, don't get me wrong, the movies made a bunch of mistakes in appearance of characters as well, but they didn't race swap anyone. You know, one of my biggest issues with the movie is the books make it clear, Harry Potter cannot get a haircut. His hair is always the same no matter what. And they violate that, but that's a small nitpick. But as for this, Severus Snape is one of the most vividly outlined characters in Harry Potter, described across multiple books as a pale-skinned man with a long, greasy black hair and a hooked nose. In the 6th book, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, Rowling specifically refers to Snape's pigmentation. Snape's pale face, illuminated by the flaming cabin, was suffused with hatred, just as it had been before he had cursed Dumbledore. "You dare use my own spell against me, Potter? It was I who invented them, I, the Half-Blood Prince." J.K. Rowling, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. Alan Rickman, who brought Snape to life in the original film, embodied this vision with precision, becoming one of the franchise's most beloved actors. Now, to be fair, reportedly, people claim that Alan Rickman is too hot to play Snape. Now, if Alan Rickman was secretly some kind of sex symbol that I didn't know about, you guys keep that to yourself. That's like saying Brendan Fraser is some kind of sex symbol as well. He's just not that hot. But instead of bothering to stay true to the source material, HBO has opted for a race-swap version of the characters, seemingly more concerned with modern Hollywood trends than remaining faithful to Rowling's world. Now, the one point of praise I will give them is Paapa Essiedu looks to be approximately the right age. He looks around 30 years old. Alan Rickman was far too old to play Severus. Because Severus should really only be about 10 to 15 years older than Harry Potter, even though we know that James and Lily had Harry approximately 2 years after graduating from Hogwarts, which means he should only be, 10 to 12 years older than Harry. There's no reason that he should be played by a 6-year-old actor, although I would never take that away from Alan Rickman because he killed the role. and Dumbledore. Now, the obvious reason why they're doing this is because Warner Bros. Discovery has a huge dedication to be more inclusive. They want the Harry Potter universe to be a world for everyone, even though it already is. You know, you've got the schools in Africa, you've got schools in Asia, you've got schools in Russia, you've got schools in America. If you want an inclusive Harry Potter, you tell a different story. You don't have to modify Harry Potter's universe or story to make the Harry Potter universe more inclusive. The Wizarding universe includes the entire fucking world. The reason Hogwarts is not nearly as diverse as the rest of the world is because it is exclusively an England school. Unless you live in England, you don't fucking go to Hogwarts. You go to one of the million other Wizarding schools. And while they say that this is all being done in the sake of inclusivity, what you've done by turning Severus Snape into a jogger is you've made it a whole lot less. Let me explain to you what's going to happen. James Potter, who will most likely be a white character, is going to string Severus Snape from a tree for flirting with Lily Potter, who's also probably going to be a white character. Now, not to call you back to the 1960s America, but what it sounds like you're describing is a white man is going to hang a black man from a tree for talking to a white woman. What's next? Is he going to start burning crosses everywhere? Is he going to use Wingardium Leviosa to make his hood constantly pointy? They already wear long robes, and he's already a grand wizard. And then what, every single person in the school is just going to be constantly hating on the one black professor? You think that's a smart idea? You think it's a smart idea to make it so that every single one of these British kids just despises the one guy who isn't British? Makes fucking sense to me. And what about the fact that the one black character in the movie, the one black teacher in the movie, is the one who is so egregiously obsessed with the dark arts? I mean, what is he going to do? First day of class, teach them how to make methamphetamine in their lab? It's going to be Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Fentanyl Prince. Or Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Kangs. You are inviting this kind of insult, this kind of comedy. You are asking for it. By hiring him to play Severus Snape, you are not making your world more inclusive. You are opening your world to insults. You are achieving two things. Two things that I assume you don't want. One, you're chasing away the audience. The audience wants an accurate Harry Potter world because the movies are great, but they're not accurate to the books. And while sometimes that's a good thing, not always. And I would love to have a very truthful adaptation of Harry Potter. And because you are violating the maximum of adaptation, you are killing a lot of people's desire. And then the second thing you want to do, you want to spread inclusivity, acceptance, and whatnot, DEI bullshit? Well, you've now encouraged people to go out there and make racist jokes at the expense of your actor. And this has nothing to do with Paapa Essiedu. This is all on Warner Bros. You want to hire incorrectly, you're going to reap what you've sown, and what you've sown is a ton of insult and hatred directed at your actor. Well, people were falsely claiming hatred towards characters in the Star Wars sequel trilogy, a bunch of people saying that people were getting harassed for their terrible roles when they weren't. What you've now done is you've encouraged people to directly attack your show based on the color of Paapa Essiedu's skin. And while that doesn't make the audience racist, that does make the jokes. And you're going to be making these jokes. You've invited these jokes and they're going to keep coming. And they're going to come until the show ends. Anytime you do anything tismy, it's going to be a race joke. Race swaps have severe consequences. You know, like in The Little Mermaid, when you wanted me to believe that a black mermaid could swim? Haha, nice try. And let's not even talk about that. How about the descriptions we have? So Paapa Essiedu has a rounded nose. He's got black hair. He's got the kinky hair, so he can't do the long thing. He can't do the overly greasy. It's not going to curtain his face. He's not pale. His lips are plump. His face is round, and most importantly, he's conventionally attractive. This man is far from bad to look at, when Snape is supposed to be an explicitly ugly character. The only way you could do this if you put Paapa Essiedu in a complete and utter makeover to make him look anything like Snape. One of the most important parts about Snape is how identifiable he is. The flowing cape, the hatred that just seethes off of him. And no offense to Paapa Essiedu, but he doesn't look like he can portray this perpetual anger. And of course, let's not forget some of the other severe stereotypes you will be affirming if you do this. Black and white crime will be everywhere in this show. You mean to tell me that you're going to have Paapa Essiedu, the one black teacher? He's the one who's going to murder Albus Dumbledore out of perceived jealousy, hatred, or whatever. Hatred. You want to tell me that the one black professor is the one who seems really unqualified and is constantly harassing his students? Is that really the optics you want to portray? Because here's the thing, when you make these kind of choices, when you change a character, you are then endorsing it. You are making a statement by changing the character. If you kept the character original, you wouldn't be making a statement. But because you thought it was necessary to race swap Severus Snape, you are now drawing in this criticism. This is your choice. And it is an especially retarded choice when you consider characters like Shacklebolt, like Dean Thomas. There are so many people of color in Harry Potter that actually matter that you could really focus on. You don't have to race swap. You can just honor the characters who already exist, who had major roles in the movies or had major roles in the books that were completely scrapped from the movies. Just honor them. Just bring them in. And of course, this also opens some questions. Are they going to race swap anyone else? If they've already shown that they're willing to do it for Severus, are they going to do it for Harry, Ron, or Hermione? Those being the most three important characters in the movie. Are you going to tell me you're going to race swap Ron? Because if you do, that'd be fucking hysterical. Taking the poor character who's always bad at class, who's never paying attention, who's always getting hand-me-downs, whose father is never present, whose mom is obese, and who's got a million siblings? You're going to make him the black guy? That'd be fucking hysterical. Or how about you make Hermione Granger a black character? Now that would be just perfect, wouldn't it? You think there's nothing wrong with that? You know, she's got her great parents, both her parents are involved, she's the smartest kid in school. Oh, but she gets called Mudblood a lot. And that could be interpreted racially if you make her black. That could sound very racially focused if you went that way. And let's not forget, Ginger is a common anagram of a certain word, and Granger isn't too far off. You just have to replace the I with an A, and then you've got the exact same thing. Is that really what you want to be doing right now? When you race swap, it creates optics problems. End of discussion. And you've offered and invited all of those problems. So have fun with Harry Potter and the Chamber of Future Astronauts, Harry Potter and the Half Fentanyl Prince, Harry Potter and the Goblet of Cognac. And thankfully, it's not too late for Warner Bros. To turn it around, but they've already said something, and that can't be undone. And most importantly, let's not forget that when you talk about J.K. Rowling, she is a raging feminist as well. Remember, they only disagree with J.K. Rowling on one point. She's not on our side, she's on their side. They just disagree on one single point. So don't think this mandate might not have come from her. But that's pretty much what I've got. Let me know down in the comments what you guys think about this, and I will see you guys on the next one.